If I don't have a lot of time to meal prep on Sundays, these are some of my quickest Keto Kids lunch ideas. Since we're putting berries in the kids' lunches again with some whipped cream, I thought I'd show you what I use for cleaning the berries, especially if they're not organic, is this produce wash. Now, I probably won't rebuy this because it's super expensive, but I just learned from somebody on Instagram that you can clean fruits and veggies with apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to do that today and see if I can taste any of the flavor on them afterward. Mix it in a bowl with some water, and hopefully the kids won't taste any of the apple cider vinegar after. So I'm just going to put these in a bowl with some water and then maybe like a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar, and hopefully there will be no aftertaste after we wash them up. Okay, I'm going to cut up some celery for the kids' lunches today, and I'll let Ethan cut them into smaller pieces, but I just wanted to give you guys a tip when I'm doing this, is that I always cut off the end like this. And I take all of these inside pieces, and since they won't have these in their lunch, I just take them and I make sure that I save them on the side, or I wash them and I cut them up so that I can put them in soups, because it still gives a great celery flavor and it saves a lot of money. And the same thing for these that have the leaves on the end. I just cut it off right before the split there, and I save that piece for a soup. This will save you a ton of money on your grocery bill too, because you won't need to buy as much of whatever you're using. I do this the same way for broccoli. I'll save the ends and chop those up. And the same thing for like cauliflower. I'll use the stalks of those, asparagus, and then you can put all of that stuff in a soup or in a casserole, or you can just cook them up. Like I'll saute broccoli in butter, and then you can still use the stalks. There's nothing wrong with them, and they still have really good nutrients in them. As always, Tiana is setting up the lunch containers. We get these on Amazon. I've talked about them in 2 of our other videos too. Sorry. So if you guys want to check those out, I'll put a link in the description below. I like that there's only 2 things to wash when we have these. There's only this and then the lid.
Done. And it's awesome that we can use these for every week.
Ethan cut up some celery that he's putting in for the veggies. I normally have them put veggies in this big spot, some sort of berry in the small spot, and then in here we do a protein. Okay, you got a knife?
Yeah.
I've already washed the strawberries, and Tiana's just going to cut the tops off. So I made 4 pounds of bacon this week, so I'm going to put bacon in some of Ethan's spot because he loves bacon. You love bacon?
I'll help you too.
Ethan will eat bacon cold, but if your child likes it warm, then what you can do is just wrap this in a paper towel so that they can have the paper towel to just pull out and put in the microwave at school.
Put this one in front of you. Like this one? Oh.
Yeah, looks good. Tiana, would you like bacon in your lunches? For their fruit this week, I'm going to add in some whipped cream. For Tiana's, what I did was I got this Organic Valley heavy whipping cream, and it's 0 carbs, 6 grams of fat, so it keeps them nice and full. There's no antibiotics used on these animals, which is nice. So when I get this, what I do is I just pour the heavy whipping cream into a container like this. I add probably 6 to 8 drops of stevia, depending on how sweet we want it, and then whip it up, and it tastes just like whipped cream without all the sugar. So Tiana and Ethan are cutting up the strawberries. Once they put them in, then I just add like a little dollop of cream to them.
Let's split it.
And since Ethan is allergic to whey, I use the coconut whipped cream for him. I found this at a regional store close to us. But you guys can check out their website, So Delicious website, and check out to see where they might have this stuff close to you if you want to get it.
We can just put this one.
Okay. Wait,
I also talked about this in our first week of the kids' school lunches. And so you guys can check out that video if you want to see the macros and the nutrition info and all of that. Otherwise, you can always find it online too. If you're adding something like whipped cream in, what I do is I use this Glad pressing seal.
Okay. Ethan?
And then I just rip these into the little sections that can cover the spot that has something liquid in them.
You all have 14K. Yours is right there. Your pile's right there, okay?
And I don't go all the way around the container. I just push it down on one side to stay. And then I'll put the cover on the top to squish it down, because then it'll seal around that whole area, and then I'll go around with my finger and push it down again. Otherwise, what happens is that it pushes a hole through it once you put the cover on it. Now we're just going to peel some eggs for the deviled eggs.
Yeah.
So in the veggie spot, besides the celery and dip that they'll have, or celery and peanut butter that they'll have, we're gonna do some small pickles. This is a nice option if you're not able to run to the store for fresh veggies one week. Besides the bacon, then we're also going to add in some beef sticks. They have beef sticks or turkey sticks like this at Aldi. They're really handy for lunches, or if you're going on a trip somewhere, just to have a snack in the car. And then Ethan is also gonna cut up some of these eggs and make deviled eggs, or Tiana will probably just have a hard-boiled one with some salt in her lunch. So what I do for 6 deviled eggs is I use the egg yolks from those eggs, a 1/4 cup of mayo, and then about a tablespoon of mustard. We really like a mustardy. If you don't like mustard as much, you can always add less. There's a ton of recipes for deviled eggs out there. Then what I do is I put the inside of the deviled eggs into these disposable cups, and that way if their lunch gets jumbled around or something like that during the day, then it doesn't get messed up inside and get all over everything. Since I have one extra, what I'm going to do is just save it for an after school snack. Ethan usually comes home hungry, and he usually has something after school. This is the end of our weekly kids' school lunches. We got hard-boiled eggs for Tiana. Ethan likes deviled eggs with the mustard and mayonnaise mixture with the yolk. And then we have celery for most of the veggies. And in these are little pickles, and then we have berries for fruit because they're lowest in carbs. Tiana has a protein bar at the end of the week just because it was easy. And then the other days they have bacon. Super simple, really quick kids' school lunches this week. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you next week. Tiana is gonna get the kids. Tiana,
What?
get your lunches
Get the
out.
kids' lunches out, okay? Guys, okay?
Ethan, did you wash your hands? Go wash your hands.
So, bye guys. Thanks for watching the video.
Wash your hands too. Are you going swimming?
I'll fill up the veggies.
Are you going swimming?
I see, Missy, that I want more eggs.
Do some small pickles. I should get a fork.